I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the field, and go for king and I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
This fucking thing on? Hopefully it's working. This is the first stream I'm going to be doing from a new computer. So if things are not perfect, let's just get it out of the way. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Let's just shed half of the complaints because we're testing, we're trying something new, and I just genuinely give zero fucks. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in my esteemed colleague, my wonderful host. He's just put up with all of my shit for 3 weeks. Eddie.
Mr. OriginaldoBo.
Let's try this again. Let's swap us
There you
around,
go.
bro.
You
There
look
it is.
extra crispy. I don't know if it's the fact that I haven't seen you in so long and I genuinely miss you, or it's just this lavish, luxurious setup that you have going on. You go to Pilot Institute and sit in a $50 million suite, and you try to replicate it here.
Yeah, you know what it is, dude? I took the Ninja. You know, I used to stream from the camera into the Ninja, do a color grade, and then it would come back into restream. So I just said, well, let me take the Ninja out of the equation. And I think that helped, like not having that intermediate piece through there.
Yeah, I noticed a difference in quality.
Yeah, I think it's looking good. And it's nice to be able to stand. I redid the desk so I can like sit and stand, and like streaming and standing is a lot better because I move around a lot. So, we've been off for the past 2 weeks. We did a stream out there in Pilot Institute's headquarters. Their $54 million headquarters out there in Prescott, Arizona. Did you know it's pronounced Prescott, not Prescott? It's pronounced Prescott, like a biscuit. Prescott.
Oh wow, because it's spelled out. I think Prescott, right? Like Prescott, I think.
No, it's Prescott. Like if you talk to people, they'll say that shit like Prescott. So we had a good time out there. We went out there. Billy and I were out there. We were filming. We're filming for something very, very special. I can't wait to announce it in a couple of weeks. But we didn't get much time to like fly. Like we didn't get a lot of time to hang out and go places and like really sightsee. We did go to a casino. We made it to a casino. And honestly, I felt like I was having a mental breakdown that night because I just got there, went to a casino. We drove 40 minutes, and I've never been robbed so fast in my entire life.
That
I
was a
don't
casino.
trust those casinos out there.
Was this
Prescott's Casino, they're
is
just
like
bandits.
it was like a small casino, or
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Like they had blackjack. They didn't have any poker. I played poker, but I said, well, if they don't have poker, I'm going to play blackjack. And it was like they should have changed the name from blackjack to dealer wins. Dealer wins every fucking time. Dealer wins.
was it like a live dealer or
Oh, yeah, it
automated?
was a live dealer. Live dealer. Yeah. Bastard. Absolute
Wow.
bastard. But it was funny. The minute I started going against like anything that made any sense, I would win. So as long as I did stupid shit that I normally would never do anywhere else, I won. But yeah, that left a bad taste in my mouth. That left a bad taste. But
Well,
damn
you,
Indian
you,
casinos.
yeah, you usually have a lot of luck in casinos.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lucky hand. I always
Usually.
I get screwed in casinos no matter what.
Yeah, this was a weird one. So this is the first stream back. Obviously, we made some changes in the studio. Content has sort of slowed down a little bit because I've been working on some projects. We made some changes. Yeah, Alex just asked me, was it 7 decks? It was, yeah, I think it was actually 8 decks, which that should have been indication enough that I shouldn't have played. But that's on me for being stupid. I should have walked away if the odds weren't good. But this is the first stream back. So we changed the entire flow of things. I got rid of the Go XLR. Well, I didn't get rid of it. It's still here actually, but I'm not using it. We put a Rode Procaster in here. We've got the Mac Studio. So we're streaming from a Mac. So if things look different, that's the reason why. And if the audio sounds funky, that's the reason why. We're not streaming from the Windows PC. So I wasn't really even sure how this was going to work tonight, to be honest with you.
I think I think your audio sounds better with this microphone. I know, with the Shure mic, you have a lot of bass in your voice.
Yeah, that's always a problem is the Shure mic always has a lot of bass. It's just a very deep audio sound. So I don't think we're going to be using Restream very much going forward. I think we're going to end up going away from Restream. We'll probably end up going with something different because with the Mac, we can use, there's a couple of platforms that are out there. So we'll probably end up switching again to something different that'll give us a little bit more leverage and then hopefully fix some of the desyncs. Because like anytime there's an audio desync, I can't fix it because of Restream. We're streaming out to a browser. So that sort of sucks.
Yeah. Oh, everybody's saying your audio sounds better now.
Yeah, I just bumped it up just a twat hair, just like a little just a little twat hair. I just booped it up. Hair? Twat hair.
Let me write this one down. Twat
hair. I'm gonna use that tomorrow. It's the appropriate way to say see you next Tuesday. So, all right, without further wait, let's talk about tonight's topic. We are talking about the Mini 3. A couple of reasons why. Giving the fact that the leaks that we've seen, that I think a lot of people are going to not buy an Autel. Like if anybody was considering to buy an Autel, they're probably going to not after this releases. And also like, it's crazy to see like these fans of the Autel products, how crazy they actually are in regards to just like that brand. It's absolutely insane. They will defend that product, that brand, whether it's right, wrong, doesn't matter. It's almost like a cult. Like Autel fans may be worse than DJI fans when it comes down to it, man, as far as like fandom goes.
It's like
so I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think people are still confused about twat hair in the chat.
It's stuck with them. I mean, I'm gonna use that in my meeting tomorrow. Twat hair.
Maybe I may make a twat hair emoji. We're just further plummeted in if there was any hope of a woman ever watching this stream, we're just torpedoing that shit straight to the ground. So let's see. We've got leaks out there on this Mini 3 Pro, which let's just start off by saying you and I were both wrong when we first saw that box, that cover of that box, and we were like, yeah, there's no way. There's not going to be a smart controller. There's no way they can make it that ugly. And they seemingly have made it that ugly. They seemingly have made a smart controller that's going to come with this. Sort of crazy.
Yeah. It's going to definitely surprise us. I mean, I think DJI is definitely going to deliver on the Mini 3. I mean, it's just like when I look at the leaks, what surprises me the most is the features that they packed into this little drone. Like, it's still unbelievable when you think about the size, the weight, and how it just completely bashes Autel. Like you mentioned earlier, why buy an Autel when you can have the Mini 3? I mean, quite honestly, I don't know what the price. I haven't been paying much attention to the leaks, but even if they priced the Mini higher than the Autel, I would feel more comfortable buying the Mini 3 versus the Autel Nano.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. My experience with the Autel Nano has not been very good. Even after they did firmware updates, they made changes. I feel like they were just band-aids, and it's just not. It's good, but it's not great. And again, I go back to when I start thinking about like color science and accuracy. And one of the things that I can't stand about the Evo is the color accuracy, because they're using that RYYB sensor. I noticed that certain hues, like greens and yellows, just aren't accurate like they should be. Same thing with blues. They're just not accurate. So it's like anything that's on that green sort of fringe, anyways, anything away from red is just really not all that accurate. It's like almost too much. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely not what I would hope for. As far as the design of the Mini 3 goes, some people say it looks like a toad. I don't disagree with that. But, again, I've never really cared what a drone looked like, right? With the exception of the Parrot Anafi, I've never really cared what a drone looked like. Because let's face it, the Parrot Anafi was probably one of the most ugliest drones ever produced to date, right? The Anafi is definitely the ugliest drone.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Ed.
No, I absolutely agree with you on that.
I mean, unless if we want to talk about the Parrot AI, I mean, that's even uglier.
Yes.
But I think, as far as like what it looks like, I don't care what it looks like. I just hope that it performs nearly as good as everybody hopes. From what we're seeing, that f1.7 sensor aperture should allow for a lot more light to come through. We're also hearing rumors that there is a dual ISO. That's yet to be confirmed, but I'm sure in a couple of weeks we'll find out if that's actually true. Another thing I'm going to be curious about is if that smart controller will be able to work on the Mavic 3 lineup, right? Because that could be a good option for people that want maybe like, I don't know, a budget option.
Yeah.
You're frozen, Ed.
I am?
Yeah, it looks like you're frozen. Let me back you out. Yeah, you're still frozen, Ed.
I'm good on my end. Can the chat tell me if I'm frozen?
Is Eddie frozen?
On my end,
maybe it's just on my end. It's frozen.
Let's see. The chat will catch up eventually.
Yeah, eventually the chat will catch up. You're frozen on my screen, but you may not be frozen like visually. So I don't know.
No, they're saying no.
All right, they're saying you're not frozen. I don't need to see you moving. I just need to hear you.
Do I look good frozen, or do I have like a stupid face?
No, you look good frozen. I mean, it's a good frozen. I mean, it's not a bad frozen. I mean, you're just frozen on my screen, but sometimes it does this. This is what I'm talking about with Restream. Sometimes it screws up like that.
Yeah, that was happening to me when I was covering for you. Remember when I did the stream with 808?
Yeah, I'm using Safari to stream, so I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those weird oddities that happen from time to time. Shit, I just quit Google Chrome, so I can't even see the chat. Damn me. Oh well, I'll just use the chat over here. They're calling you a frozen twat. So funny. But I really hope, though, I really do hope, for the sake of like just DJI in general, that they make it to where that smart controller could be used on the Mavic 3. Because if it's cheaper, let's just say the smart controller or whatever they're going to call this controller for the Mini 3 Pro is more affordable, right? It's more affordable, and they allow you to buy that and use that with the Mavic 3. I think that would be pretty freaking cool, for somebody who was on the fence of a smart controller, but now all of a sudden they made this thing maybe like $400, $500. It's better than $700 or $800, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I I see it in a different way as well. I see it as the Mavic 3 should have came with this controller as a stock controller, and have the RC Pro as the more premium upgraded controller. If it will
I
work
don't
with the Mavic
disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I don't know why they didn't do that. I mean, personally, the Mavic 3 has been a shit show straight from the launch. Like, it hasn't been a very smooth release. I think it's probably one of the more it's one of the more tumbled, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the word. It's one of the more troubled releases, but it's one of the more troubled releases where DJI hasn't really taking any responsibility for it. You know what I mean? It's like they know there's problems, but they're just not admitting that there's problems.
yeah. It's
Now, I know you haven't had any issues with your Mavic 3. You're saying that you haven't had any GPS issues, yet here I am. I'm fucking, oh, man. Today, I texted you and Billy today, and I said, hey, I'm having issues, dude. I need it to be quick, and I'm sitting here waiting around for, 5-6 minutes for this GPS to lock, and I've got all these Karens yelling at me about flying my freaking drone, and I'm like, I just wanted to be in and out of here quick, and now I got to answer all these questions to all these old people.
what does it do? What are you doing? I had GPS issues after that upgrade, the one that supposedly fixed the horizon tilt. But interesting, the last 3 flights that I've taken, I've gotten a GPS lock under 2 minutes, and previously it was taking about 8 minutes. So I don't know what changed, but now I'm getting steady locks. And I mean, I don't fly my Mavic 3 every day. I mean, I probably fly every other week. I cycle between FPV and the Mavic, and on a cold boot, it's 2 minutes or under.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. That's the thing. I'm not seeing that like at all. Like, I have. All right. So for instance, um, I'll fly a pack. So this is my workflow. Like, I keep my Mavic 3 in its GPC case, and I'll bring it out to the car in the morning, and I'll boot it up, right? Before I even start filming or photographing any houses, I boot it up here at the studio. So I turn it up, and then I'll power it back down. So this is on a fresh battery, mind you. So fresh battery. Put it in its case. I go to the first house. First house, the Mavic 3 will take about 5 minutes to lock. And even if I'm up in the air, like I'm upping the air waiting for it to lock, I can only fly up to 98 feet. And it'll like fluctuate between 6 satellites, 8 satellites, back down to 6 satellites. And I'm like, all right, what the hell's going on? So it's annoying because then I'll get, okay, your home point's been set. But as I'm watching the screen, it'll lose satellites again. It'll go back to orange. And I'm like, all right, this is crazy, but I'm able to complete the job. So after about like 8 solid minutes, I have enough satellites where I feel confident in it. I mean, it always ends up locking. I've never had a situation where it doesn't lock, but it's like 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Now, between like super fast hot boots, where I'm talking about where I'm powering it down and powering it back on, let's say within 20 minutes, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So I saw that the Mini 3 has the same GPS as the Mavic 3. So I'm hoping we don't have these issues, but it doesn't make sense because if you look at people that are flying the Matrice M30, they're not having problems.
And the Matrice has the same GPS as the Mavic 3?
From my understanding, it has the same GPS as the Mavic 3. So it's the same GPS and they don't have issues. So my question is the GPS an issue because of the position where it's located in the Mavic 3? Is there some sort of electric magnetic interference in the Mavic 3 that maybe it's shielding that doesn't affect every unit, or maybe it's something that DJI identified, fixed silently, of course, and that some people aren't experiencing this because it's a shielding issue, but like some of the earlier models, like mine's an earlier model, maybe I'm experiencing this, this shielding issue, and that's really all it is a shielding issue.
You could be right. And I think software has a lot. Software and firmware has a lot to do with it too. Like I remember
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier on whether or not they're kind of fabricating the GPS numbers so that it looks like you have higher, satellites locked in versus what you actually do.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, they're like, and that's the thing. They're really not indicating one way or the other what's a real reason why there's an issue. But, you know, my only hope is like the Mini 3 doesn't have that problem, because something that I've been thinking about, and I even said it to you guys today in our group chat, I was like, I sort of want to go back to just flying the Air 2S. Like the Air 2S is fine. I know Billy's been talking about the Air 2S for a little bit. He's been flying it like pretty much regularly. And he's like, yeah, I still love the Air 2S. Like there's nothing wrong with the Air 2S. It's a perfectly fine drone. Even still today, like it's perfectly fine. It's more than enough. Like it's more than enough for what I need to do. Like just needing to be fast and doing houses and making content for clients. Like the Air 2S is perfect, right? It's perfect. So I honestly may just go back to using the Air 2S, just because like I'm just starting like this, like today is a prime example. Like normally it doesn't matter, but when you're in a retirement community and you're trying to get like community shots, everybody and their mother is going to come up to you and say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you here? I never wear a yellow vest. Like I never wear a yellow vest. Today I had a yellow vest on because the yellow vest is like my fuck off vest. Like if I want to tell an old person to go fuck off without telling them to go fuck off, I just turn around and said, see this? It says, do not fucking disturb. Do not disturb. Go home, grandma. Go home. You're not wanted here. I mean,
Nuts.
I want to get like somebody to make me, I want a yellow vest that just says fuck off. Like that's what I'll wear going forward. Just fuck off.
Drone operator. Don't ask.
Drone operator. Fuck off. I mean, how could we put it any other way? I mean, today. I'm not even joking. I'm up in the air. The first two old people asked me if I had a permit to be there, and I had to explain, no, I don't need a permit. We're photographing amenities, and because you're in a public place, there isn't a reasonable right to privacy outside by the pools and the golf courses. So I had to explain all that. I get done explaining that. Then I had this other guy. He's asking me how much it costs. So we went through how much it costs. Wow, that's a lot of money. How much did it cost again? So we went through this again. It's like he had amnesia. It's like, hi, my name's Tom. So then after him, then a security guard comes up to me and I'm like, here we fucking go. But this guy was actually pretty nice. He was asking me if we can take photos of the Honda Accord that went through the front gate. So I was like, sure, we can. So I had to take photos of the car. So some old guy just missed his turn and went right through the sign. Yeah. Dude, it was awesome. I mean, if he didn't bottom out, he was going airborne right into that guy's backyard. I mean, it's Florida. It's just never fails. But that's just like, that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you have to be fast because you want to avoid that confrontation. I genuinely don't like confrontation when I'm flying. Like I don't like, it's an uncomfortable thing. And that's why I always do my aerials last. Like that's the last thing I do is do my aerials, because I want to avoid confrontation at all costs. I know it's like people are probably like, yeah, he's full of shit. He's a confrontational person, but I'm serious. Like, I don't like confrontation.
Yeah, it's different when you're out there on a mission, right? Like doing work, doing a paid shoot. Like you want to avoid those confrontations, especially with
absolutely.
Especially you don't know nowadays. There's so many crazy people out there.
Yeah, I wasn't really worried about anybody like crazy in this particular community, but there's some times I'm like looking around, like, certain locations where I'm like, gosh, shit, I may just get robbed. Like that could happen. Luckily enough is never, not occurred, knock on wood. But I mean, I'm sure there'll come a time where that potentially will happen. I mean, I know friends that have been held at gunpoint, robbed of their equipment. One of our friends that had that happen, he just sent his drone, like he landed his drone somewhere.
It's crazy.
Like he's like, oh, I just lost it. Like, and then he went back and found it. So I was like, that was smart. I probably would have returned it home, said, here you go. I'll find you later.
That happened to me once. I don't know if I shared the story with you. I was in Puerto Rico, San Juan, in the exact location where they filmed the song Despacito. You know, it goes Despacito.
Despacito. Yeah, I
So
know that song. I love that song.
that's like a well-known, supposedly like drug area. You don't go down there. You don't go visit the community. I decided to fly my drone over that community, and I flew it from like this hill so I can see the drone, and then all the homes were like beneath me. And sure enough, this guy comes up in a moped, like blazing fast, throws the moped. The moped like crashes into the brick wall, comes up next to me. He goes, "Oh, that's a cool drone. Is that the drone right there flying?" And I'm thinking, oh, normal civilian going to ask me questions. Next thing you know, he takes out a gun, puts it right into my stomach, and he says, "Bring down that fucking drone right now before I shoot you." And I shoot the drone. That's the first time that I hand catch the drone while the propellers were still going on. And that was, I think, it was the Mavic Pro Platinum, and the props were still on. I just grabbed the drone from the air and I just wanted to bring it down. It cut me all up, and it was the scariest moment of my life. And then he deleted all the footage. I actually have his I still have the content. He deleted all the footage from my phone. So it was like the cache memory. And I kept the drone recording. I was holding the drone. I gave him the remote, and he's deleting everything from my iPhone, but it's all the cache memory. And I'm still recording on the internal SD card. That was a moment.
What did he want though, Ed?
He said that they do a lot of they. So I played it dumb. I said it's my first time here. I'm from Dominican Republic. I'm not Puerto Rican. I came to this beautiful place because this is where they filmed Despacito, and I wanted to just get some photos. And he was like, "Yeah, but," he goes, "You don't understand, Papi. This is the hood." He was speaking English to me. He goes, "This is the hood, Papi. You don't come down here." He's like, you just don't do that, and you probably got me doing some illegal stuff. I was doing some illegal stuff, and I don't know if you're like the feds and stuff, and you're gonna report me. So he was like, just he
If
goes,
you were the feds and he put a gun in,
I
the
know, I
motherfucker
know,
be dead.
I know. And I had my wife and kids like 2 blocks away in the car because there was nowhere to park, and I was by myself. So finally, I convinced him to follow me to the car so we could continue the conversation because I just wanted to get closer to other people. And I do a 360, and there's like, of course, nobody around. There's no police around, and this is in San Juan, which is like popular. And at the end of it, this is the funny story. At the end of it, he deleted everything from my phone. He thought he wiped my drone. He apologized. He gave me a hug, and he invited me down to the neighborhood so he can give me a personal tour and we can drink a beer. And I said, absolutely. We'll have a beer together. In fact, it's on me. Let me just go park my car and I'll come down with my family. I got in my car and I went right back to the hotel.
Bro, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, dude. Damn. Like, but we were talking about going to Puerto Rico, like to go fly and go see stuff. That story right there makes me not want to go to Puerto Rico.
Well, it depends.
Oh man, damn it. That's scary shit, dude.
You just got to know where you position yourself to fly. Like, you got to know your environment.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's where having that situational awareness is, I think, really important. We talk about spatial awareness all the time when flying FPV, but I think it's understanding situational awareness too is really important. Yeah. And it sucks when you fly into another country or, somewhere else where you may not be armed. Like, for the vast majority of my flights, I am armed unless I'm in like a retirement community or something. I don't need a weapon. It's like, it's a bunch of old people. However, I did almost get shot one time in a 55 and older community. The stupidest shit, man. Did I tell you that? Like, the agent sent me to the wrong house. No. And it just so happened that this person's house was unlocked. She gave me the address. She gave me all this stuff. And I'm like in this guy's house, photographing it and moving their stuff. And he walks in like, who the fuck are you? Runs back outside and tells his neighbors, and they're all like got their 22s, like all like shaking and shit. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Shit.
And I look around and I'm like, yep, I'm getting shot today because of just that was that community. And I had to explain, like, the agent gave me the wrong address. I'm not a burglar. Like, that was, I lit that agent up, dude. I lit them up.
I don't, but you mentioned FPV. That's something I don't do. I don't fly FPV alone. I just don't. And the one time I tried it, I was also on vacation in Dominican Republic. by a beach, and I'm flying alone. I put on my goggles, and if you ever been to Dominican Republic or guys that been to Dominican Republic, they just love to like panhandle and like ask for money or give you services for money. This guy grabs my I had Crocs on. I just came out the hotel, like sandals. Guy, I'm flying FPV, the DJI FPV. That's when I first got it. The guy grabs my foot and starts massaging my foot and shining my Crocs, a shoe shine on my Crocs.
Shining your Crocs or
Yeah,
crotch?
well, both for
Oh,
$5
he was in your crotch.
and shining my Crocs for $5. You know, and I'm like, who the hell is touching my leg? And that's that. And I just got the DJI FPV at the time, and that's why I don't fly. I don't fly alone.
Dude,
You
you
just
know,
you know.
I've been flying FPV. I'm not gonna lie. I would fly FPV, you know, by myself, you know, quite a bit. Like just fly, you know, solo, and it's okay, but it's not as fun as if I have somebody with me, because I don't know, flying FPV by myself, it gets boring sometimes, and you don't push yourself. So I think having somebody to fly with makes it definitely way more enjoyable. Obviously, too, it makes you, you know, you can be legal as well, because now you have a spotter, providing you're both obviously not flying.
Yeah.
But I haven't flown FPV. I shit you not. Since I left North Carolina, I came home. I broke almost all of my shit. I flew a couple of packs to kill the packs out. I got the Hero 10 bones, and then I had to go to Prescott, and I just haven't had any time to fly. I'm in the process of building new quads, but I'm like, man, I don't even have time. Like, this was what a bad time to switch frames, because I don't have time to build them. And then you got to sit there and retune them for the new frame. And I'm like, fuck, I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah, same here. I've been itching to fly FPV, but just haven't had the time.
Tanya says, I get strange guys starting conversations that start with, hey girl, want to fly with me while I'm flying? Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I can see that happening. You know, here's the deal. Like, guys in the drone world, it's like one big, like they see a girl, bro, and they're or girl. Well, I see there's a girl actually watching that,
There
but
you
they
go.
see a girl and they're like, oh my God, girl, like it's like squirrel. Like they don't know what to do. They get a little creepy. They get creepier as they get older too, sometimes, sadly.
But I want to say female pilots or content creators in the drone space have an advantage, like on YouTube, Instagram, because everybody wants to follow them, right? They want to follow their journey and interact with them. So take advantage.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is we were talking about that. The like we talked about this all the time, is like, you know, like if you are a female in the drone space, you can grow at an exponential rate versus a guy. Because guys, let's face it, like channels like me, channels like you, we're a dime a dozen, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I mean, it's so weird. Like, social media is weird like that. I see that on TikTok. TikTok fucks me up, though. Let me tell you, dude. I swear to Christ, bro. Like, I'll be on the toilet, right? No joke. And I'll sit down there, and it's like 30 minutes later, I'm like, man, why am I still sitting here? Why am I still sitting here? And I'm like, I just scrolled through like probably like 40 TikToks, and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I mean, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
I refuse to get TikTok.
It's amazing, but the problem is I go down these scroll holes. Like I just scroll, and then I don't know. It's like Super Mario, man. It's like Super Mario Brothers. I just scroll hole. I scroll hole, and I come out the other side somewhere, and I don't know, dude. I get so lost, and it's always the stupidest shit. Like, TikTok's algorithm is so good. Like, it knows what you want. It knows what you want. Like, it will show you everything that you've, like, if you watch something for how, it knows how long you watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different than YouTube. Like, YouTube's algorithm is good. But TikTok's algorithm is like, it just, I don't know. It just gets you. It hits differently. I can't explain it.
It
And I
starts
don't know shit about algorithms. Period. I don't
starts
know shit about algorithms, but
starts to hit you
I'll
with
fuck.
relevant content.
Yeah, I mean, it'll hit me with you. You know it. You know what? It'll hit you with it though. I don't know. What time is it? It's 9:37. It feels like we've been talking for standing and streaming. I feel like I've been streaming for 45 minutes already, and I'm only standing.
Mm.
It's weird. It's so funny. Like we're still frozen. Like on the left hand and right side, we're frozen, but I can hear you, and obviously everybody says we're not frozen, which is sort of
Oh, so on your end, you're still everybody's frozen. I'm frozen.
yeah, but it's like we're still. It must be a restream thing. It could be a Mac issue. You know what I mean? It could be a Mac issue. I don't really know.
Probably Safari, because you're doing it from Safari.
This is true, but if I go into here,
But what happens if you just pop up in Chrome? If you open up a Chrome browser and try to log into Restream. Oh, there you go. So until Dobo, oh, you're back.
yeah, I'm back. So now you're not frozen.
Oh,
So
what did
now you're not
you
frozen.
refresh? You just refresh the page?
Yeah, I just logged into Chrome, and then I guess everything's
Okay.
fine.
It's a Chrome thing then. Safari.
Maybe it's a Safari thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do want to look at some other options for streaming. So now that we're using software that allows us to do that. I don't know what like software is there. They've got like, I don't know what the fuck is that. There's this software they have for Mac. I don't
The
know.
only, the only
know
thing
what I'm
I've ever
talking
used.
about?
No, it's not Stream Elements, is it?
I don't
Like
know
through
what it is.
Stream Elements with OBS, like it's OBS but like rigged up.
I don't think it's OBS. It's something else, but Billy and I talked about using that once upon a time, but I'm going to try to find. The other thing I want to do is try to figure out how do I get audio coming out this, you know what I mean? Like I have headphones. I have a jack here. I wonder if I could just connect it to this jack. I wonder if that's going to work. Bear with me a second.
Okay. Maybe he's talking about Streamlabs. I don't think it's Streamlabs either, though. I know there's Stream Elements, there's Streamlabs. It's not StreamYards. I don't know. Mac only.
No, it's not StreamYards though. There's like this Rode podcast. I should never bought this. I buy shit and I'll probably just give it away. Like I do this all the time. I'll buy something I don't like it and I give it away. I keep doing that. I gotta stop doing that. I'm getting really bad with this shit. It's like I Amazon and just give it away. You ever do that, Ed?
No.
Let's see.
Is it Ecamm?
Ecamm, yeah, Ecamm.
Ecamm?
Yeah, Ecamm. Let's see.
Oh yeah, powerful live streaming platform for Mac.
Audio. Say something, Ed.
Test. Drone brews. Drone brews.
No, I can't hear you. Fuck
No?
me. I don't know.
Drone brews.
Like this. Eddie,
Drone brews. I think you broke it now. The audio sounds messed up.
Yeah, I broke it, bro.
What about now? Did you fix? Oh, what did you do there? I think now you fixed it.
No, I fixed it. Yeah, yeah, it's fucked up, dude. I can't do that. Say it again.
Drone brews. Brews.
Yeah. So apparently this Rode Caster Pro, I've got a lot to learn with it. See, I don't mind troubleshooting live, Because
you get live feedback. I'm waiting for people to start talking shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I know what works and what doesn't work. But so a couple of things I noticed is that the noise gate on the Rode, the pod mic is a little bit less. How do you say? It's not as it's more
level.
sensitive than the other ones. I don't know how you tune that. Maybe there's software I got to download, Eddie.
Maybe
there's software I download. It's just what I'm talking about. I just fucking.
They should have a software like the Go XLR where you can go in there and tune your equalizer.
Yeah, there's got to be software. I'll download some software and play with it.
How much is that, by the way?
The Procaster?
Yeah.
I think it's like $500, but I mean, realistically, I'm using it in a like a way that it's not necessarily
Intended for.
supposed to be used. Does that make sense? So like I'm
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
use it more as a like for podcasts, right? That's
Right.
how you're supposed to use it. And I'm not using it like that. So but I mean, hey, it works for what I need it to do. So I'll keep using it. But um I do think there is actually um oh yeah, there is. There's a companion app. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what I
Well,
need is a companion app. So I'll download this companion app and I'll set that up and we'll test it again next week and see. I saw somebody mention about the possibility of the DJI FPV2. Have you
mhm.
seen those leaks? Like those really like I mean,
It looks very rendered. It looks
doesn't it look very rendered?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it does look very rendered.
I know. I mean, could it happen? I mean, it could, I guess, because look at the Mini 3, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's fake. I'm not gonna say it's fake because like I thought the DJI, Mini 3 was fake, and then
yeah.
that turns out to be like real as like as real as can be. But we've seen a couple of renders of what could possibly be a a FPV2, like the FPV drone 2. Now this past render looks to be the realest of them all, if you ask me.
Mhm.
But I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think that could be real though? I like it. Like I like the more metal look to it. I like the more compact. And I'm hearing that now the camera is separate from the actual FPV camera.
Yeah, that's
So
what
it's
I've
like
heard
they've
too. Yeah.
obviously learned.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could be real, and I hope it is because I would love that's one drone that I would rebuy in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. It's the FPV version 2. Like I fly mine all the time. I have that sense of security when I fly it, so I wouldn't mind investing money into it again. I do hope that they fix the camera so they make it better, and I think that having two different cameras, like one for your goggles and one is actually recording the footage, is going to make a big difference for processing. And hopefully you don't have to add on additional weight. But if
Trying to see if I can find that render of it.
But if you do have to add on the additional weight, like, so, it's fine. Like I use, people comment all the time. I just had somebody comment on a video today, and they asked how did I mount my GoPro? And I've had zero issues with your mount. I mean, I get my GPS lock.
So
The drone
but
handles fine.
but you know what I noticed is some people have the GoPro too far back. Like they have the GoPro too far back in the position. Like I don't I don't push the GoPro far back. Like I have it like here's the thing, if you're using the Hero 10, it's all the complaints I ever hear is with the Hero 10. So using the helmet mount, I turn off Bluetooth, I turn off the Wi-Fi and GPS on the Hero 10. You don't need those. So right there alleviates a lot of problems. And then the second thing is you don't want it tilted back over the GPS module because that's what will do it. But the reality is the most of the people that are buying this, I don't think they realize that I designed that mount to be flown in manual mode. Like
Right.
it's not meant to be flown in the standard mode. So if you're not flying in manual, you shouldn't be using that mount.
Right.
I mean, that's just it.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
noticed.
I saw the renders in a YouTube video. I'm not gonna show the video though, because I mean we don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I did make a new mount, Ed. I'm actually gonna be releasing a new color that I think a lot of people like in case they do lose the drone. It's a high vis yellow. Dude, it's bright. It is bright as shit. I gotta show you
Good
this.
idea. That's a good idea. I think people are concerned with GPS because they want to do long range. So I guess, if you're flying manual and you don't have a GPS lock and you do long range and you disconnect, the DJI FPV will essentially just hover there until it runs out of battery and I guess force itself to land. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't have
gonna
any
land on my
GPS
helmet.
issues. I don't tilt mine all the way back. I think I fly my DJI FPV at a 20% angle, 20
Look how
degree
bright
angle,
that
and I
is.
just leave it like that. Oh, that's really, really bright.
Dude, isn't that bright?
Yeah, I mean, you can
You can
definitely
see
spot
it
it.
like
Yeah,
I like we were testing this, just throwing it out in a field to see if we can spot it. And it's crazy when the sun reflects off of this, it's bright as shit. And then at night, it like almost glows. So I don't, I was like, all right, well, that's actually cool because then if somebody does lose something, maybe they'll have a shot at finding it. So that's what we're going to be releasing this week is the high vis helmets, which I think are going to be pretty cool. So, but I haven't had no problems with that though, as far as GPS locks goes. But again, I don't wait for GPS on the freaking FPV drone. I just take off.
Yeah.
Why not use that mount in standard mode?
You could. I mean,
You can use it in standard mode. It's just not intended for standard mode. The reality is, like, if you use it in standard mode, the biggest problem with it is going to be like, think of it like, all right, let's say you're going bowling and you're bowling with bumpers. Like that's standard mode. If your ball goes too far to the side, it's going to hit the bumper. You know what I mean? Like you just don't have the flexibility in standard mode because you have limits. So
yeah.
without standard mode, you just can fly it a lot more freely. That's
Yeah.
the whole reason. So Mark White says, I don't like the fact that they're doing the same thing with the Mini 3 for satellites as they did with the Mavic 3 using Galileo and Beidou and no GLONASS. We'll have to see if that's going to be a problem. We don't know if it's going to be a problem. We don't know if it's going to be a problem right now. It may not be a problem. It may not be a problem. Maybe they fix that problem, or maybe it's something like I said. It could be some sort of electronic magnetic interference on the Mavic 3 causing the satellite problems, because some people are like, I have no issues with satellites. And then some people are like, I have problems. I see more people with problems than without problems. So, but that's just what I'm seeing. And obviously I'm thinking about it all the time because I have problems with my satellite. So
It'll be interesting if the Mavic 3 is. I saw somebody posted on the chat here earlier that it's rumored that once the Mavic 3, the Mini 3 comes out, then they'll have a fix or another fix. I should say for the Mavic 3. So it'll be interesting if the Mini 3 is solves those problems.
I don't know but why would they do that though? Why would they wait to put out a
Bro.
fix for the let's be honest. Mavic 3 customers are not Mini 3 customers, essentially, unless you collect drones. Somebody who bought the Mavic 3 and that's their drone, they're probably not going to buy a Mini 3. And I say probably not because yes, people will, but they are not the same client that is going to, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who buys the Mavic 3 wants the best quality. They have a certain purpose. That's why they're buying the Mavic 3. Now, somebody who buys the Mini 3 maybe upgrading, or maybe they have an Air 2S that's on the way out. I don't know. There could be a couple of reasons why, or maybe they are in a country where they have to have that 249 grams. I don't know. But I don't think that the clients are the same. Like there are people that are obsessed with drones, right? They're obsessed with drones. They want to have drones. They want to have the next best thing, and they sort of collect them. Yeah, they're going to buy the next drone, and that's just how it is. Joe asked me if it's dangerous to fly the helmet with in standard mode. No, it's not dangerous. You just don't get the best results. So it's not dangerous. I did see your question though. Didn't mean to ignore you. It's perfectly fine. You're just not going to get the smoothest results because again, like it's bumpering. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up with comments here. Yeah, I'm seeing this. John Dunn said that it takes 5 minutes for his Mavic to get full satellites.
A lot of variability with that.
There is a lot of variability. Let's see. Elon Musk, a drone fan, maybe borrow his satellites. Wouldn't that be something if he started like having his own constellations for GPS? What would they call that? What would they call it? Starlink? They would call it Starlink.
Yeah.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
people, you can launch a drone on GPS alone. Definitely GPS and Galileo is sufficient. Well, it's not the fact of launching it. It's not the fact of launching it. It's the fact that it limits you to 98 feet. In a lot of situations, 98 feet, once you get up there, 98 feet is not all that high. You know that? Like 98 feet isn't shit for altitude. So,
Yeah.
yeah, while you can definitely fly around at 98 feet, you can't do much of anything. And the reality is that the sooner we stop accepting the fact that there's a problem because we're not hearing it back, we're not getting feedback from DJI. They're not addressing the problem. So the sooner we stop sucking DJI's dick and saying that this is okay, the faster that's going to get fixed. Like every single time that you accept the problem, every single time that you make it okay for mediocrity with a product, you basically make that okay. Here's a prime example. I hate to pick on them, but I'm going to pick on them because this is a situation that just occurred. So I was reached out to by X Dynamics again, right? And we had this whole conference call and everything. Anyways, long story short, I'm probably not going to be looking at that drone again because I really do believe they are afraid of what I will say and the fact that I will not be honest, because I feel like they are begging for they're begging for positivity, right? They're begging for positivity that we have to support something because there isn't a lot of competition. I think that's the wrong. Give me a reason to support a brand. Give me a reason to support a brand.
Mhm.
Just saying that there's not enough competition in the industry is not the right reason to support a brand. Supporting a brand means they do something that nobody else does. They do something better than nobody else does. Like you look at Skydio, they have probably the best obstacle avoidance. They have a great product. They do it well. They are not asking anybody to support them. They create their own fan base because they do something that nobody else does. So when I look at all these companies, when I look at Autel, when I look at DJI, I'm looking for somebody that does something that nobody else does as well,
Right.
so that way it makes it easy for me to support that brand at that point. And I feel like that gets lost in the sauce a lot of times with people. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I mean, DJI does a great job. They do a great job, and they are the 800-pound gorilla in the room at all times. They always will be because they just have such a far jump out on everybody. I don't think that anybody will catch them
Right.
at this point. It's impossible. There will be companies that will come close, but there will always be some compromise. Like you look at Autel, for instance, there's always going to be a compromise when you buy Autel. The reality is that whether you buy Autel or you buy DJI, you're really thinking about, do I want to deal with geofencing or do I not want to deal with geofencing? And that really isn't even a good reason to buy one over the other. If you're pre-planning your flights, the DJI geofencing is not as bad of a situation. Like lately, what I do is I've been loading the files, the unlock files ahead of time, planning my flights in advance, right?
Right.
I get it. Not everybody is going to do that because not everybody is flying with a purpose, but that gets me around the geofencing situation, right? But I rather not fly something than deliver a shit file to a client.
Yeah.
And I just feel like every time I fly the Autel product, I have to do way too much color grading to fix all that shit.
Too much sharpness, I always found.
Oh, it's so over sharp. It's so over sharp. It's funny. I don't know when it will release. I don't know when it will release, but we did a really fun video when we were in Prescott. Like it was one of the fun videos. Like it was one of the videos we made with Pilot Institute that I think it's going to be an awesome video. I can't wait till people can see it because it was such a good video. As soon as they release it, I'm going to share it because it's such a freaking great video. And it really goes to show you the difference between the different cameras. Like they do some insane testing over there. That's all I'll say. They do some insane testing, and I really can't wait for that one to launch, because it's going to show you like the difference between these cameras. Like it's totally unbiased. It's totally unbiased because of the way they did it, nobody knew what was what except for the person who actually set up the shots. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Sam asks, why do you think DJI dropped the digital system years ago and no one could touch them? Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, they didn't drop the ball on FPV. So it's just, it takes them a lot longer to work on things. Supposedly there's a new set of goggles out there.
Yeah.
There's a new air unit. There's already been leaks for the new DJI air unit and the new goggles. So I don't think they dropped the ball. I think they just spent time refining. They've spent time refining things. And, you know,
And-
who was even close to them? Who
Right.
was close to them in the digital world, right? Nobody was even close to them.
I was going to mention, I think DJI has earned the right to not release products so close to each other when they are ahead, right? There's no one else that comes close to digital. So, you know, why drop something new when they're still very successful in the products that they have today? Now, you know, we have HT0 that came out there with quote unquote digital. If they would have came closer, I'm sure DJI was prepared to release something that was even way better.
But like even Orca, for instance, Orca is not even in striking range when it comes to digital FPV at this point. Like what they showed at CES wasn't even a valid it wasn't even a working prototype, and there's all this hype about that. Like everybody again wants to beat DJI, but DJI only has to pull out enough to beat somebody. And we would be naive to think that they didn't already have a replacement for the FPV side of world, like new VTXs, new goggles. They've probably been sitting on designs for a while. I mean,
They're just waiting for the right time.
they're just waiting.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see this year, we'll see new goggles, new VTXs. It's going to happen.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to be amazing. I think they're going to bring a lot of continuity to the FPV world because let's face it, FPV is becoming more and more popular. It's becoming more and more mainstream. Pilots are craving more distance. They're craving more reliability. So I think we're going to see a slew of new products from DJI in regards to the FPV, the hobby FPV world. I think we're going to see a lot of new products from them this year.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think we're going to see what we wanted from them, and I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it'll be really good.
I wouldn't be surprised if DJI in the future created an Inspire version, a professional grade FPV. You know how we have Cinelifters, right?
Yeah.
And we build Cinelifters. I
Well,
wouldn't see.
Why would they need to though? Why would they need to just build us flight controllers, right? Make us a flight controller and give us an ESC, like an amazing ESC, an amazing flight controller with some form of DJI software that flies well. Like that's the thing. Like you have Beta Flight, you have KISS, you've got all these
Mhm.
flight controller softwares that do well. But what if they gave us something that was sort of almost plug and play where it can mount on any frame? It can mount on any frame, but it's in a plug and play version, a plug and play variant. And they basically alleviated all that stress and hassle of tuning, reliability. All those things go out the window because they just give you basically everything you want. It could be, I mean, that could be a dangerous thing for a lot of these manufacturers. You get a lot of pushback, obviously, from the FPV elitists, but still, I mean, I'm always curious about new products and software like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, it's always interesting to see how they're going to do it. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. The Mini 3 is supposed to be out this month at some point. I'm expecting towards the end of the month. I've heard rumors it's delayed. So we'll see if that is the case. We'll see what it looks like. We'll get one in our hands. I'm excited. This is actually the first Mini I'm really excited about. I've been very, very critical on all the Mini drones because I don't feel like they need to exist. But because the Mavic 3, I felt left such a blank space in my heart because I'm just like, freak, this sort of sucks. If the Mini 3 Pro comes out and it checks off all the boxes, that'd be amazing. But I mean, again, so one more thing. If you guys want to stay up to date on the latest Mini 3 news, you have to be on Twitter That is where Jasper Ellens is constantly tweeting. All of this information, if you want to check him out, follow him. I'll have a link to his Twitter handle on Twitter. If you're not already following Eddie or myself, I am at OriginaldoBo, and Eddie is at Mr. Eddie Nunez on Twitter. But like in real time, everything happens in real time on Twitter. So when leaks typically come out, they hit Twitter first. YouTube gets them second. So if you don't want to sit there and watch somebody else's YouTube video talking about a tweet, just go to the fucking tweet and read what they're saying in real time. And that way you don't have to worry about watching somebody's shitty YouTube video about a motherfucking leak. That is the stupidest thing. Like, I'm going to make a video about a leak that somebody else tweeted.
Right.
Fuck you. Like,
but all the real time, all the and I have to say, Twitter is like one of my favorite, and I think the best platform out there.
Twitter is my favorite. Twitter is my real-time favorite. Like that is my favorite social media platform of all time is Twitter. Like, if you want to twat, you just go on Twitter. You just go out there. You just go to the Twitter. Go to the Twitter.
Twitter twatter.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us, all 133 of you. Welcome back to Drone Brews. I'm super excited. Hopefully we'll have some content for you guys really soon. Maybe like later towards the weekend. I am aiming for one good video a week, one really well thought out video a week versus many videos. I want to just do one good video and leave a bad taste in your mouth for one whole week. And then we'll redo that bad taste the next week. So that's the goal here is, make sure you hit the thumbs up. There was a super chat. I did not forget him.
Yes,
our bad. I appreciate the 1999 super chat. He says, hi all, I am in New Jersey, New York City, and I'm desperate need of 4G LTE for my Mavic 3 operating near RF transmitters. Ooh, that one's hard to do. That dongle's hard. They haven't even shipped here in the United States. You can get them.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work in the US though.
No, it doesn't. So that's we're sort of shit out of luck on that one.
There's no workaround on that. Multiple people have tried. And even if you activate like roaming on your SIM card and you try to like, kind of VPN it behind the scenes, it still won't work. There's something in the software they know. It won't work.
Yeah, they know what the deal is with that. It's blocked. So wish there was more to that. It's gonna have to be a little bit before we get there for that. I think it's gonna be a while before that's going to be, something that's working.
Yeah.
So our bad again. I appreciate it, man. Sorry it took me a while to get to that, but I did remember that question. So thank you so much. And thank you to all the Drone Brews members. If you guys are wondering how some of these guys are getting the amazing emojis that they're using, like the super wrenches, the Billy Kyle emojis, we're going to have to add a lip. So like a special Eddie Nunez emoji soon. That's because they are a part of the Brew Crew. But again, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching tonight. And we will see you next week with a fresh episode of Drone Brews.
Take care.
Stay original.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. Voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. Maybe, baby, this what flying feels like.
AJ, come here for a second. We have any beer? Come here for a second. Come here for a second. I just want to talk to you. Here for a second. I want to show you this. How much is your allowance? Here, you know my password for Zelle? What? What? I can't hear you. Can you do what? You have to speak louder. I have headphones on. Waiting for Ken to tell me how we did today. Only if you scream.
All right. I think we got everything off there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So it looked like concurrent 133 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's very
night.
good.
Yeah, not a bad night. Not a bad night. Not bad for getting back.
No.
We need to do guests, Dad. We need to get like I thought you were going to set up that calendar.
Yes, it's in the works.
But I don't want to get like normal guests, Dad. I want to get like different guests. Like I don't want to get like other creators. Like I want to get like D celebrities. Like D. Like I don't know. Wouldn't that be good? Like a D celebrity, like somebody who's washed up, like more washed up than we are. That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah, we have to work at it.
I can work at it. I think we can do that.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'll make some phone calls.
Yeah.
I'll make some
I went through a whole stream and I'm not even drunk. My tolerance is high, dude.
Oh, you're drinking again.
Well, it's moderately.
Moderate.
I'm drinking. I'm on the Modelo patch.
I
They
noticed you've
say
been drinking that
3
lately.
Modelos a day will keep the doctor away. So I just keep relapsing, dude. I just keep going back to the cerveza.
It's tough to let beer go.
It is tough to let the beer go. But you know what? It's been so good to me over the course of 3 years.
Yeah.
I just can't let it go that quick.
I just every time I go to the store and I see those IPAs staring at me, I have to grab one. And those are
juicy
the
IPAs just send me right into a fucked up state.
and those are the worst. Like if you're trying to lose weight and stuff.
Oh
because
yeah.
they're so heavy.
So I think the Mac did good. I got to figure out the audio, but maybe there's got to be something I can do, Ed.
Hey, this is only the first stream. I think it'll only get better. I think you sound good and you look great.
I look good.
It looks crispy. Yeah.
Does it look crispy though on your end, Ed?
It looks sharp. Looks very crispy.
Maybe I was, I was in my head today trying to set the white balance. I was like, fucking Paul. All right. Well, I'll set up a candidly calendar and maybe we'll get some guests on or some shit.
Yeah, we can do that. I can also I can shop around on OnlyFans and see what's out there.
I'd be okay. I would be open to that. We can get a porn star.
They're creators. They're creators.
They're creators as well. They fly help. Drones probably.
They probably do. I was gonna say I know a few, but I think I'm prospecting.
Just prospect. I mean, if we have it in the budget, we prospect them and we bring them on. Because you know what? I could already think of a great thumbnail for that. So I say let's do it, Ed. I say like no one's off limits.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, we'll chat about this. We'll chat about this again later. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, Ed.
Sounds good, man. It was
all right,
great
buddy. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, bro.